नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धे भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं I think there will be one as a protocol. I will say all of you please kindly turn on your video feeds like in the aeroplanes we have, isn't it? Kursi ki peti krupya band lijiye. So like that, I will make a request. Compliance is completely up to you. That is not something I'll be verifying. So all right, can someone recollect what is it that we have seen? You form the link, so we can go ahead. Anybody? Something, some points. Let's just piece together what we covered yesterday, so we can quickly enter into the Gita again. A very interesting turn is going to take place now. Yes, please. Anybody? Please feel free to unmute. Yes.
Battle started. Yesterday we covered like battle started.
Ji.
Sankhnath happened and battle started and Sanjay started saying everything to Dhritarashtra.
Yeah. So Sanjay started reporting. Yes, Sheila ji has rightly said. So the Shankhanath took place. It started with Pitama Bhishma's first great Shankhanath, followed by everybody else on the Kauravan side, and then an equally powerful Shankhanath from the Pandavan side. Yes, anybody else would like to add to what Sheila ji said? Please feel free to unmute. Yeah. Yes. Anybody? What else did we see? How was Arjuna? Yeah.
So
Yes, ma'am.
Arjuna was very confident and seemed like he was all set.
Yeah.
But Krishna, who's addressed Rishikesha, which means
Yeah.
like he knows everything, he probably knew what was coming. And so when he asked him to be charioted towards the middle of the army, he particularly chose to drive it in front of the two people who can, turn him down. And I think he was preparing ground
Arjuna.
literally.
Yeah. All right. Yes, Kamala ji has perfectly
With
said.
Gita.
Yes. Ji, ji, absolutely. So here, Arjuna is ready right now in front of Dronacharya and Pitama Bhishma. There, the chariot has stopped, and Krishna says, "These are your opponents." My question is, if you find your own people against you, is it easy?
No.
No, isn't it? No matter how experienced you are, you say, I can fight everybody in the world, but not
Hmm.
my own people. No, no,
Not
no.
my. Yeah,
Isn't it?
my own
All the
people.
skill. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you're all the skill, all the experience, all the talent. Somewhere it all comes to naught when you see it's like, Arey, Superman has found kryptonite. Nothing, nothing. All the energies are zapped. Something similar happens to Arjuna. Though Arjuna was mentally prepared, he knew he was going to fight this. He was ready. He was ready for his strategy also. If you see, he was very clear. He said, I want to see the alliance of well-wishers who have joined to support Duryodhana's false mind. He says, see, they have all been taken for the wrong direction. They have been taken to the wrong direction. And I want to see all those people who are, by association, they are also wrongdoers. They may be my teachers, they may be my uncles, they may be revered ones, but they are wrongdoers. This was very clear in Arjuna's mind. But right now, a change suddenly happens. Let us see. We continue with the 26th shloka of Bhagavad Gita. Tatrapashyat stithan parthaha pitrunatha pitamahan acharyan matulan bhratrun putran pautran sakhinstatha. This, thus present there, Arjuna watched all his foes, his own uncles and grandfathers who were close, teachers and relatives, and his dearest brothers, children, nephews, and friends amongst elders. So Arjuna has seen his own people, his teachers, his own uncles, his own, even his grandfather, his nephew. Means it's like I think we've all gone to marriages and suddenly met all our relatives at one place. We get mixed emotions even in a marriage, though it's not a fight or anything like that. But here, this is not a happy gathering. It's a gathering for just killing each other, and his own people are there. Suddenly, Arjuna is probably having lots of flashbacks. Just put yourself in his position. We are a little comfortable in our homes. We are not in the middle of a battlefield or having our own guru against us. But think about Arjuna. Probably he's just visualizing, oh, Dronacharya, he taught me how to hold this bow and arrow. Now I have to fight him. But look, he wants to kill me. My guru wants to kill me. And what is this? So, something like that, it happens. The emotions start overwhelming Arjuna. Emotions are good or emotions are bad, that is something we'll have to study later on. But right now, emotions are there. And I think all of us experience emotions, isn't it? Nobody's a stone. All of us have emotions, and right now we have to see whether they are helping Arjuna or not. Shvashuran suhrudaschaiva senayoru bhayorapi tan samikshya sa yaha sarvan bandhun navasthitan. And his most beloved ones and in-laws too. In both armies, he saw as he stood between the two. Arjuna noticed all those who gathered to war, every one of them who had come to spar. You see, Arjuna had a great, what we can say, Chanaksha Drushti. He was able to discriminate, but he wanted to see each and every one. But everywhere he's seeing on the front also his people, behind him also his own people. Means it's like frying pan and fire. Which side is mine, which side is not? Both are my own sides, is what he suddenly started feeling. You see, Arjuna's name was Parantapa. Parantapa meaning harasser of enemies. He was a veteran, a warrior, a champion who earned so many titles. He had single handedly also taken part in battles. Many times they had extended families, so maybe he would have fought against cousins also. But right now, this is absolutely something new for him. His own people on all sides. He's like, oh my God, I'm caught in a big hurricane. Kripaya paraya vishto vishidan vishidan idam abravit. Arjuna uvacha drishtvevam swajanam Krishna yuyutsam samupasthitam. Despondent and overcome by compassion. A distraught Arjuna spoke in this fashion: O Krishna, my own kin stand here in my sight, all together and filled with a desire to fight. He says, my own family is here. They want to hurt me. They want to hurt me. I cannot tolerate it. He goes on. Sidanti mama gatrani mukham cha parishishyati vepatuscha sharire me roma harshascha jayate. So he says, watching them, my heart gives a cold sigh, and my throat feels all so parched and dry. Down my spine now runs a shiver that makes my whole body shudder. He's saying, my heart is giving a sigh. I think when we are very emotional, sometimes it comes to our heart, isn't it? The heartbeat suddenly changes, isn't it? And he suddenly felt like, oops, my heart is broken. I think a lot of youngsters use this word, my heart broke. This person turned down my advance or turned down my request. But heart is not made of glass, isn't it? But heartbreak is not literal break. It is something which is directly what we can say mental to physical, psychosomatic. There is a very strong link. And that we can see here. Arjuna is saying, my heart is giving a cold sigh. My throat feels also parched and dry. Down my spine now runs a shiver that makes my whole body shudder. This suddenly I'm feeling like I'm shaking. I can't stand straight through. It's like down my spine only I'm feeling that, and I'm having goosebumps also right now. One simple question. Is this sounding like a warrior? Or is it some theater artist who is sharing his dramatic experience? Now, right now, Arjuna, can we say this is a Kshatriya who is going to fight? He says, no, I'm feeling like I've got fever right now. My body is shaking. My heart is now feeling so, it's weak. I'm feeling so numb. I think many parents would have got this from their children, isn't it? Ma, I'm not feeling well. I don't want to go to school. I have fever. Then you just touch the head or forehead, and no, no, your temperature is fine. Go back to school. That's what, so as simple as that. But this is an excuse. Well, right now, this is not an excuse, this is actually a panic attack. Okay, anxiety before exams. Vidisha ji said, yes, we prepare all right for the exam. When the exam comes, I think in school, children always have that big pressure. Many people get the dreams afterwards, also, even after this schooling is over. I can say, even I get the dreams sometimes I'm having the exams. But coming back, Arjuna is facing this. Who is Arjuna? He is a champion, not just a champion, he is the champion. Very strong man. He's strong, powerful. He's facing anxiety. What does this teach us? Anybody? A very big lesson is there in this. Physically also very strong. Means he's like Mahabaho. Yeah, Kavita ji says he's scared of losing his people. It's all right. But this doesn't just show that anxiety can come to anybody, whether physically or mentally. It does not make a difference. Your strength is, you have to be strong on the inside, but anybody can feel anxious. It's okay. That is first thing we must understand. Instead of being very harsh, I am like this, I am like that. In such moments, don't become your biggest enemy. This is understandable sometimes. Go to the root. So here Arjuna is right now. What is he doing? A good thing he is doing is he's sharing it to his friend. He's sharing it to his Sarathi. He's sharing it to his teachers. Children very easily share to friends. Adults have that difficulty. Suddenly, I'm an adult. I can't. No, no, no. I will not go consult anybody. Even psychologists I can't meet. Psychiatrists, so no, never. Well, this is not wrong. If you have some problems which you're not able to solve, it is not wrong to ask for help. So let us see. Arjuna is doing one good thing at least. But let us see. He says, unfortunately, Krishna has not responded immediately. Otherwise, the mother will immediately respond. Isn't it? Bete kya ho gaya? But no, Krishna is quiet. That's also one lesson. Krishna is quiet. Let us see how long Krishna is going to be quiet. And let us see what Arjuna is going to do. Does he want Krishna to speak something? He goes on. Ghandivam sransate hastat tvakchaiva paridahyate न च शक्नोमि अवस्थातुं भ्रमतीव च मे मनः. From my hand slips the Gandiva bow, and my skin seems on fire now. My mind and head are spinning round. Impossible it is for me to even stand ground. Because I can't even stand. And he says, my Dhanusha is falling from my hand. This is a very special weapon that he has. And for a soldier, this is, my hand can get cut, but the weapon will not fall from my hand. That is the approach of a Kshatriya. But right now, this Kshatriya is saying, my hands are feeling numb. The same hands which would, fire arrows with surgical precision. Far away also they could attack. But no, right now, they are not even able to hold on to that bow. He says, I am feeling weak. My skin, it seems like I have fever right now. It's like on fire. This happens. These are all classical symptoms of anxiety or a panic attack. Sometimes when things go out of plan, this happens more to people who are used to planning everything. Arey, it's not happening according to my plan. It's not happening. It's not happening. Then you struggle to come into terms. And a perfect planner like Arjuna is now, it's like entire plan only has got failed. Whatever aspiration he's had, everything is looking broken right now. He says it's impossible. Not at all. I can't stand. Now he goes on further. Nimittani cha pashyami viparitani keshava na cha shreyo na anupashyami hatva svajanam mahave. Even all the signs that I observe, oh Krishna, they seem so adverse. I see absolutely no fame or pride in killing anyone on either side. He says, oh, even the signs that I'm seeing, the omens, the indications, they are also looking very horrible. Now, I don't think Arjuna was an astrologer or Jyotish Acharya who was going to give predictions or anything. Nobody asked him that, but he says, no, I see these signs, they are looking bad. I don't see anything good coming out of it. And he says, I see no fame or pride in this murder of Swajana, killing of own people. This is wrong. And either side people, they are mine only. I see no pride in murder. My question is, does a warrior who is fighting for a country or a Kshatriya who is defending his land or defending his duty, upholding Kshatriya Dharma, Is he a murderer? Are our soldiers murderers when they are fighting at the borders? Anybody? Yes or no? Why?
No.
Okay, Arpitaji says no. Anybody agrees with Arpitaji?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm a Raj.
Okay. Why is it not murder then?
They are
Because they
performing their
rescue us
duty.
from enemies.
All right, they're rescuing us from enemies. Okay. Kalpanaji was saying something?
They are doing their duty.
They're doing their duty, isn't it? Just as how a doctor is not doing murder of cancer cells, no, doing chemotherapy, isn't it? It is again a duty, it is a requirement. So there's a difference. When you're doing your duty, that is something. Ideally, we would say fight should not take place. Ideally, terrorists should also be transformed. Ideally, we must understand each other. But if it was everything was ideal in the world, what I would just go and stand by the border and start reading poetry. And then all the terrorists would give me flowers in return. But no, that's not possible, isn't it? They are the Kshatriya, their poetry will not work. They have to hold the gun, they have to fire the bullets. That is important. And that is not murder at all. But Arjuna is right now in his emotional state, forgetting his duty. His emotions are making him think that no, this is murder. And he says, murder of my own people. No, no, don't ask me to do murder of my own people, is what he says. Let us go on further. But if you see, slowly there's a fall, isn't it? The confidence is gone. The same confidence which was there a few moments ago. And I was doing everything. He said, I am ready. I am going to attack. I am going to choose my enemy. And suddenly this I only has now become so small, so minuscule, it's looking shattered. He says, no, I'm scared. He is yet to say that, of course, but it is from the inside he is afraid also. He goes on further. He says, na kangshe vijayam Krishna, na cha rajyam sukhani cha, kim no rajyena govindam, kim bhogair jivitena va. Oh Krishna, I desire not a victory, nor the comforts of a territory. Any kingdom or lordship acquired in this way, would it not be a waste? What else of it can I say? Oh Krishna, I don't desire a victory, is what he's saying. It's again a yuddha. You enter into a yuddha with that objective. There's so much at stake there, but he's right now saying, no, Krishna, I don't desire a victory, nor the comforts of a territory. Any kingdom or lordship acquired this way, wouldn't it be a waste? What else can I say? So my question is, if I say I don't desire to win gold medal in Olympics, what will you tell me? I'm not playing only, isn't it? So where does the question come in? So here I don't desire a territory. Who is giving him a territory right now? Is anybody giving him a needle tip of land also? No, Duryodhana said, no, I will not give you that much also. But he's saying no, he's trying to take the high moral ground. What we call sometimes there are thoughts which are ideal, but some of the thoughts which are very disconnected from reality. That's why there is a difference between an intellectual and a pseudo-intellectual. So right now Arjuna is somewhere going astray. He's trying to invoke the high ground. He says, no, I do not desire anything more in this world. In any kingdom, if I get this way, wouldn't it be a waste? What else can I call it? He goes on further, but sometimes the logic also given in emotional state are good. We'll see Arjuna's logics also right now. He says, Yesham arthe kangshitam no rajyam bhogaha sukhani cha ta ime vasthita yudhe pranan tyaktva dhanani cha. My dearest ones, for whose very sake these kingly comforts I desire, with their lives and wealth at stake, they stand here in the line of fire. This is my dearest ones, my near ones. Means all my life I have done for them only. They are only. I have all these king comforts also. Whom did I dream? I saw these dreams for my dear ones, for my Swajana. But now, with their lives and wealth at stake, they stand here in the line of fire. He says, see, all my life I was dreaming, and look, Abhimanyu is also into this battlefield. What's going to happen to him? I have done everything for my future, my people. Look at this. This is the overwhelming emotion. This logic does seem pretty good, isn't it? This logic which Krishna is being told by Arjuna. There's nothing, no falsehood in this, isn't it? The last one we could find some flaws because of emotions. We can say this is not right. But here it is true. आचार्याः पितरः पुत्रास् तथैव च पितामहाः मातुलाः श्वशुराः पौत्राः श्यालाः सम्बन्धिनस्तथा My teachers, brothers, and my children, nephews, in laws, and grandchildren, my elders, and likewise grandfathers, and many other family members. Now, India is always known for its very big families, isn't it? Everybody is very strongly connected. Wherever you go, you'll find someone from somewhere, some connection. But unfortunately, in Arjuna's case, just one second, Hayo. Thank you. In Arjuna's case, all his family members are now assembled in one place only. He says, I see everybody. He goes on. Etan hantum ichhami gnatopi madhusudana api trailokya rajyasya hetoho kimnu mahikrute. O Krishna, to kill them I desire not. Such a crime in life I have never sought. Not for ruling the three realms of the earth. Surely is such a lordship any worth? He says, Krishna, I don't desire to kill any of these. He's again calling it murder only. I don't want to do this murder, is what he's saying. He's calling it a crime. I've never wanted to do such a crime in my life. I never signed up for this. During COVID times, also something had happened. A lot of people had they felt, no, 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 I have not signed up for this. I joined because of, I had my classmates. They said, no, I thought I'll have a very relaxed time. But now this looks too much. I just want to leave. I want to go into farming. I want to change my profession. Well, there are situations which come in our life as challenges. Whether we have to face them or should we run away, that is something we'll have to see. But right now, Arjuna's case is like this. He says, not even for the three realms of the earth. Anybody is giving him Trilokya Rajam, by the way? Is anyone giving it? He says, even if I become Raja of the Triloka, I will not get anything. Nobody is giving him, unfortunately. So let us see what happens. He says, Nihat Nihatya Dhatharashtrannaha Ka Pritihi Sya Janardana Papameva Shrayedasman Hatvaitan Atatayinaha. He is clear that these are all not right. They have joined the wrong cause. Again, Arjuna knows it, but still, right now, his emotions are betraying him. He says, Oh Krishna, by killing Dhritarashtra's sons, what happiness is there for me to gain? I will only suffer for my sins with pain for murdering these impetuous ones. He says, I will just suffer. I will get papa only. This is one more aspect people try to invoke. And say this is you do this, you will get this papa. So he starts saying, if I do this duty, he's calling it murder. And he's saying these children of Dhritarashtra. Are the children of Dhritarashtra young, small toddlers? No, they are not. And what are they guilty of? Well, they have been trying to eliminate all of them. They've already been doing so much. And if one moment he just thinks of Draupadi, I think the Kshatriya blood will boil. But now emotions have hidden everything. Right now, this Kshatriya nature is gone. There is no Kshatriya nature inside of Arjuna. He's just what we can say a bundle of emotions right now. He says, I don't want to get any papa. I don't want to suffer any more sins, especially murdering these ones. These are wrong, misguided ones. तस्मान्नार्हा वयं हन्तुं धार्तराष्ट्रान् स्वबान्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः स्याम माधव. Oh Krishna, it doesn't seem fit. What satisfaction will I thus merit? Waging war against them, what can I win? For I shall then be killing my own kin. He says, what satisfaction will I get? Again, question is, does anybody fight for satisfaction? Wars. They're not for satisfaction, isn't it? It's for duty, it's for upholding justice, it's for upholding dharma, it is required. But here Arjuna is again, what is there? What profit is coming out of this? Why should I participate in it? He says, waging war against them, what can I win? I will. This part is also somewhere. We can say somewhere we can understand Arjuna's emotions, but we also know they are not right, isn't it? Anybody? Or do you feel Arjuna's emotions are right? Anyone, as of now, what we see? We can understand where they are coming from his position, but can we call them right?
We can probably say that it is right as a human, but not right as a Kshatriya.
But I think we are all human beings also, isn't it?
Yes, so as a
So
human, we are thinking that, it's my relative. It's like we are seeing from an emotional aspect. So that's why it's
from the
breaking
emotional
down and
aspect,
all.
it may be correct. But if we see from the higher aspect, it is not, isn't it?
Yeah. And
Sometimes,
as his dharma, it is not correct because he's a Kshatriya and he should stand by dharma.
yeah. Yeah. And
That is his
yes,
purpose.
yes, ma'am. But there's a highest dharma is said to be Satya Dharma, truth consciousness. So in terms of the highest truth, this is not right, isn't it? If you look
No,
at
it
it.
is not right.
But the emotions, we sometimes, मेरे family का सब चलता है. My children, I'll allow it. My brother, I can allow. My sister, my friend. We have that. Sometimes unknowingly it comes into us, isn't it? Somewhere we feel it's
True.
okay.
He's
But
also probably thinking that, at the end, like he's already considering that he's won the war. And at the
yeah,
end of it, he's going to be like, he's going to be a king of a kingdom without his own people because end of this war means everyone will be dead.
yeah. So
So
we'll
that's
have
what
to
is
see.
causing him this
Yes.
angst.
So probably when what we are having clarity because we are not in the war directly. But when we are there, then suddenly what is clear, crystal clear, suddenly becomes gray, isn't it? So this does show that emotions have a capacity of blurring our perspective also, isn't it? Can we
Yeah.
agree? Yes? All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, so let us see. How we deal with emotions, we'll learn later in the Gita. But as of now, at least this much we can understand ki chalo, emotions can blur it because a great Kshatriya like Arjuna is also forgetting Kshatriya Dharma just because of his emotions. Let us continue. Immediately, he says, Yadyapyete na pashyanti lobhopahat chetasah kulakshaya kritam dosham mitra drohe chapatakam. Even if they don't in this way perceive or see, he's even thinking about the Kauravan perspective. Even if they don't in this way perceive or see, however corrupt their greedy minds may be, the worst of sins incurred from this felony that is acquired from the carnage of friends and family. So it's like if he was a policeman, he's going to add section one, one, two, three, four, so many of them, so many sections. He says murder first, then swajana hatya, murder of own people. Then now he's going to take it one more step higher. He's calling it mitra droha. This is considered to be the worst. Means Maitri is a beautiful relation. And then you are now breaking the spirit of friendship. This is worse than worst of scum only break the spirit. And he says, I am breaking Mitra Droha. I mean, I'm making breaking the Maitri Dharma also by taking part in this war. I am going to destroy friends. I'm going to destroy family also. That is what he's saying. Krishna probably is, I don't think he's yawning, but he's just looking quietly. Ki chalo, theek hai. Go on. I can see where you're coming from. But Krishna is silent. But he's consciously silent. This is also something we can learn. Sometimes our friends also enter into Arjuna mode. They start venting out in a state of emotions. That time we should try to not immediately, put oil into the fire. Instead, become like Krishna. Ki, theek hai, all right. So he is now emotional. So it is not him speaking, it's his emotion speaking. They may not be correct also. As somebody has written, yes, Vidisha ji has written, art of listening. Yes, that is also very important. Krishna is teaching it right now. He goes on further. He says, Katham na gneyam asmabhihi papadasman nivartitum kulakshaya kritam dosham prapashyadbhi janardanam. He says, why? Probably eye contact is telling him Krishna is not agreeing. So he immediately says, why? Why shouldn't I think in this manner? To escape from a sin I wish to not incur. For this terrible sin of killing one's own, to us its consequences are already known. So he's holding on to that thought that this is murder only. I am no more than a pretty murderer, is what he is thinking about himself. And this act of yuddha, he is not considering it as a war. He's considering it just as a murder. And he says, why? Why shouldn't I think this way? I want to just escape. I don't want to get the sin of murder. of own people. We already know. Probably he's read Garuda Purana also. So he's afraid of the consequences, what's going to happen afterwards. But he says, no, I don't know why I shouldn't think this way. This is my right to think this way. Kulakshaye pranashyanti kuladharmaha sanatanaha dharme nashte kulam kritsnam adharmo bhi bhavatyuta. The act of killing one's own clan destroys our ancient ethical code of man. And when the ethics of man are annihilated in his posterity, the sin is proliferated. So he says, what's going to happen? This will lead to destruction of what we can say Kula Dharma also. The destroying families. So you are going to destroy the sanctity of the family system also. And you are also going to destroy Sanatan Dharma. My question is, what is Sanatan Dharma? Anybody? Sanatan means,
Everlasting.
okay, Vinata just says everlasting. All right. Yes, Kamalaji was adding something.
Yeah, that which has no end.
That which has no end, isn't it? So that which has no end, Arjuna feels if I participate and do my duty right now, that which has no end, that Sanatan Dharma will cease to remain Sanatan and it will get destroyed. That's what he is making a case for himself. Many times this happens. Emotions, in a flare of emotions, we either speak something, make some claims, or try to push another person also into the same thing. He's trying to bring Krishna also to his side of thinking immediately. And he says, you know what's going to happen then? Sin won't stop with me. My future generations also will become sinners. That's what he's saying. He goes on further. He says, Adharma bhavat Krishna pradusyanti kulastriyah strishu dushtasu varshneya jayate varna sankaraha. So before we go, I just to the next shloka, I want to say is these are all words of Arjuna in a state of emotion, isn't it? We are seeing some examples where they are not perfectly connected with the truth also, isn't it? So this is one example, means Gita itself is a Pramana Shastra, but sometimes it is misinterpreted. Right now, Arjuna is thinking he is the guardian of Sanatan Dharma. Later on, when we see in the Gita, he says Sanatanastam Purusho Mattam. He identifies who is the real guardian. But right now, he feels he is the guardian, so he's speaking a lot of things on that basis. So these shlokas are Arjuna's shlokas, and these cannot be considered a pramana. My friend got angry with Krishna. He got angry with Gita also because his father quoted this shloka telling him not to marry somebody. And he said, this Gita is like this. It is preventing me to marry for the love of my life and all of that. I said, did you read it? He said, no, but my father quoted. I said, did you ask him what he quoted? Said, no, it's there in the Gita. Did you ask him shloka number? He said, no. He said, let me read that. What is the shloka? Now, this is shloka not of Krishna. It is of Arjuna, and Arjuna wants to leave the battle. So he is going to give examples to justify, isn't it? His escape. He wants an escape route right now. So these are not Praman Shastra. Praman is Krishna. Krishna is Shabda Pramana. Means if you see we have a philosophy where different pramanas or evidences we can say, like in modern science, if medical journals you have references, isn't it? You do literature survey and then you quote some other authors, you cite other authors who are established in a peer-reviewed journal because that is considered pramana. So like that, there are different pramanas. Among them, one is a Shabda Pramana, that is the Pramana of Krishna. That has not started yet. So right now, we can just take it with a little bit of pinch of salt, pinch of pepper. We can hear Arjuna's perspective right now. It is not yet the full truth consciousness. It is just Arjuna's opinion. We'll see what's going to happen because of this opinion also very soon. Let us continue. So here he said in the 41st shloka that Pradushanti kulastriyaha strishu dushtasu varshneya jayate varna sankara. He says, I know Krishna, the household, in a household that is sinned, the women members only suffering you find. And when the women are afflicted, the balance of society is affected. So he says, see what's going to happen then. So here he's saying first is Mitra Droha, Swajana Hatya, Kulakshaya, and now he's saying Varna Sankara is going to take place, society will get destroyed, women will start suffering. Why will they suffer? If Arjuna takes part in the battle. Now, if he doesn't take part, what is going to happen? That's a different question. Nobody is asking. Krishna is quietly listening. I mean, if Arjuna is around and they can mistreat Draupadi like this, what will happen when he is not around? Should the Kshatriya become more strong, more Druda, or should he say, no, no, I am running away? It should not be that way. But Arjuna has not yet understood it. So he's using all these examples. He says, yes, then what will happen? And this is true also. When women are affected, there's the balance of society. In our factory also, our factories run basically all the women workers only are there who are the backbone. The society gets disturbed. That's what he says. He goes on further. Sankaro narakayaiva kulagnanam kulasya cha patanti pitaro yesham lupta pindo dakakriyaha. He's not leaving his pitars also. Pitars are the ancestors who have reached the pitar loka. They have become like Deva. They are worshipped because that sthana is considered to be an exalted state. So even the pitars, he says, are going to get affected. He says, in the lives of such sinners, only hell descends. And to their families too it extends. Even those who have received the libations and rice, the ancestors fall in stature, even after their demise. He says, I think we all do Shraddha Kriyas, isn't it? For those who have passed away, who have gone ahead, we offer different, what we can say, we offer sometimes Arghya on the special days also. We offer rice. Why? For Shanti. They are Shanti and our Shanti also. We get Ashirvad from them. But he's saying suddenly the Pitars also, as if suddenly gravity will start functioning and they'll fall from that Loka into Prithvi. God knows what he's imagining right now. But he says they will also get disturbed. All of his tarka, his entire tarka is being directed towards one objective. That objective has not yet come out of the bag. He's giving so many different things, trying to say this is wrong, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. Generally, when something is wrong, do you have to give 10, 15 examples? No, no. One tarka is enough. One single example which is perfectly explained, that is enough to speak what is right. When you start giving too many, you understand that somewhere something is missing. Something is missing in Arjuna's tarka also. That is why he's going to keep trying more and more. His ancestors fall in stature even after their demise. दोषैरेतैः कुलघ्नानां वर्णसङ्करकारकैः उत्स्यादन्ते जातिधर्माः कुलधर्माश्च शाश्वता. These sinners and destroyers of families bring forth to the society loss and tragedies. By destroying the ancient code of human race, they break families and spread disgrace. He says the Kula Dharma, all dharmas are going to get destroyed. There will be earthquakes also, is what he's going to see saying, actually, ultimately. They'll bring tragedies will take place, there will be loss, there will be only destruction everywhere. Arjuna is not looking like a Kshatriya at the moment, isn't it? All his examples and everything. It doesn't look like a warrior who is feared by so many warriors. Right now, it's a very different Arjuna speaking. It's because of the emotions overwhelming him. He goes on further. He says, Utsan Utsanna kuladharmanam manusyanam janardana narake niyatam vaso bhavatitya nushushruma. Those whose code of duty is vanquished, the fates of such men are sealed and finished. They are doomed for eternity to dwell and suffer for their actions in the realms of hell. He is now speaking as if he knows about Narakaloka also. Has Arjuna been to Narakaloka? No, he's not got that Sakshatkar. He's not realized it. But right now, his emotions are giving him an adhikar to speak about that also. Krishna is going to speak about Naraka later on, but it will not be the typical Naraka of what we understand, heaven and hell kind of Naraka. He says your life will become Naraka if you don't do this. This will come across three gates which have to be closed. If you close these three gates, you'll be in Vrindavan. Open one gate also, your life will become Naraka. As simple as that. That is what Krishna is going to talk about. But right now, Arjuna is talking about things he does not know also in his emotions. And the interesting aspect is he's speaking with full confidence. Who is giving the adhikar? It is the emotions only. It's the wrong adhikar. we can say. We should not allow emotions alone to be a source for our words or our actions. Something else, a higher understanding. But let us see what is it. But first, Arjuna's case is going on. He says they will suffer. Suffer where? They'll suffer in the realms of the hell, of hell. Now comes the interesting aspect. Krishna has not spoken anything, isn't it, till now? So he says, who is remaining now to be blamed? Krishna only. So now he is going to blame Krishna as well. Narake niyatam. No, sorry. Ahobata mahat papam. Kartum vyavasito sita vayam. Yadraja sukhalobhe na hantum swajana mudyate. Mudyataha. So he says, Yad Rajya Sukha Lobhena Hantum Swajana Mudyataha. This is an accusation he is making on Krishna also. That you had Lobha. Lobha for what? For this Rajya Sukha. He says, how did we agree to commit this sin? Just for the kingly comforts we desired to win? Our own clan did we seek to kill. Alas, this terrible feat, why did we will? He's blaming whom? The savior only, isn't it? What can somebody tell me what is this? Isn't this extreme? Too much. Anybody, have you come across a similar situation in your life also? The savior only is being called the culprit. Yes, anybody? Does it happen? In a state of emotions. Anyone? Yes, please. Can we relate to this? Or can we accept it first? Arjuna asking Krishna, ki Krishna, were we greedy? If Krishna was greedy, would he be charioteer? Number one, no. If Krishna was greedy, would he allow his Narayani Sena to go to the other side? Again, no. If he was greedy and he wanted this war, would he have gone all the way to prevent, take all the efforts? He's already reduced his stature that way. If you see from the outer world, no? A Raja becoming Sarathi, it is never heard of. Or maybe some examples, but somebody like Krishna, he becomes Sarathi. Why? Of course, there's a reason, but it's not wealth. It is not for desire for wealth. But this is an accusation of Arjuna. Krishna doesn't say after this also anything. It is interesting. But before we go to that, we can at least understand one thing. Arjuna, we know. Arjuna also is not greedy person, isn't it? He's not doing it for wealth. But in a state of emotion, sometimes people speak absolutely anything which doesn't make sense. And this is what he is doing. In Sri Aurobindo's Savitri, there's a line, his enemies are the ones he came to save. Something like that Krishna is facing about Arjuna also. He has to save Arjuna, but Arjuna is blaming him only. He says, what is this, Krishna? He didn't ask for advice. Arjuna is not asking advice also right now. He's just venting out, and in that process, he's blaming. So sometimes when our friends they try to say us while they're venting out, if it is our dharma to listen, that is first thing we should know. If it is our dharma, then we can think of, see how Krishna was listening, even if he was being accused of something, he was not, he listened quietly. So let the pressure cooker lose all of its steam. Then we can open and see whether rice is really ready or not. Let that steam come out. Let us see. Let it become quiet. That is exactly what Krishna is doing. He's quiet. Even at this accusation, he's not like having palpitation. How dare you? You too, Brutus. Why did you say this to me? No, he's quiet. And because he's quiet, Arjuna has to say something else further. Because this is the height for Arjuna, the maximum accusation he can make. He can say, Krishna, was it you? Did we, or were we greedy? Still no response from him, Krishna. He goes on further. He says, Yadi mam apratikaram ashastram shastra panayaha dhartarashtra rane hanyuhu tanme shemataram bhavet. This is the worst, lowest point of Arjuna in the Gita. Probably Dhritarashtra is smiling, ki wah, kya baat hai. Now something good is going to happen. But this is the lowest for Arjuna. He says, if I face their armies unarmed and by Kauravan weapons I am killed, I would still retain some glory by allowing them to claim a victory. He's in having a delusional moral also right now. He says, if I just go, I get shot without weapons, I just get killed, I'll still have some glory, is what he is saying. If I allow the Kauravans to claim a victory. There's almost like a suicidal tendency. You see, suddenly panic attack and going lower, lower, lower. You see, in one batch there were a lot of medical professions, so professionals inside. So I asked one of them, said, no, no, अभी तो अभी cash sheet बनानी पड़ेगी. Borderline depression है. He is having it. इस पे treatment start करना चाहिए. Immediately we have to start. Well, something like that. Arjuna is right now have started with anxiety. You see, physical symptoms also have manifested. They are now on an increasing state. Then he goes on, for him, the highest he can make in his emotional state is accuse Krishna. Then that breaks him completely. Even accusing is also causing problem. And he says, no, let it be, let me go. Let it all finish. That's what he is thinking right now. And we come to the last shloka of the first adhyay. Sanjay is reporting. It's a very sorry sight. Our great Parantapa, our hero Arjuna, is not looking good at all. Sanjay Uvacha. एवमुक्त्वार्जुनः सङ्ख्ये रथोपस्थ उपाविशत् विसृजं सशरं चापं शोकसंविघ्न मानसः. Sanjay spoke. After saying so, Arjuna, amidst the warfield, his bow and arrows he refused to wield. He dropped down onto his chariot seat. In delusion, he had already accepted defeat. So in the first adhyay, it begins with depression of Arjuna, with the sorrow of Arjuna, with the grief of Arjuna. The first is a failure only. Darkness, pitch darkness for Arjuna right now. How is Gita opening like this? Well, maybe that is a way, from darkness we can move to light. Arjuna's symbolism movement will also be probably symbolic to us or our moments in life as well. But let us see. He's fallen down. His shoulders have drooped and he falls back to his seat. The same Arjuna who was a few moments ago confident, ready to enter into the battle. So, this is what we can say. Sometimes moments come in our life which overwhelm us, which completely take over us. We experience panic attacks. Arjuna is a great warrior. He has done great tapasya. One of his names is Gudakesha. He's the one who has conquered the need to sleep also. He said, I want to always be training. Let me sleep very little or to the point that if I don't sleep also, so I can continuously keep getting better. Even such a person is facing this moment. I think then if we face, we shouldn't feel like it's the end of the road, isn't it? Panic attacks can come to anybody. At this time, what should we do? This is one important lesson. The first adhyay teaches us one important lesson. And what is that lesson? That lesson is when you don't know something, when you're unable to understand, do what Arjuna did. He spoke to Krishna, isn't it? He vented it out. He spoke to someone. Whom do we speak to? Well, you have to speak to someone whom you can trust, someone who is an elder, someone who is experienced. If you have a guru, someone you can have full shraddha in, any such person you can ask, and you should not hesitate. That is the first and important lesson that the Bhagavad Gita teaches us. When Arjuna, the grown up man, who is a father, who is soon to be grandfather, that type of person, Arjuna also is not feeling shy. We should also not. That is one more thing. Another thing we see in the first adhyaya is emotions. Emotions can suddenly mask us, mask our strengths, and make us feel vulnerable and weak. It is all right. What do we have to do is we'll have to probably come out of these emotions. But right now, let us see when Gita tells us how we have to do it. That is also there in the Gita, how we can control the emotions. But right now, can we just go to second adhyay and see some more shlokas? Because we do have some time right now in hand. We'll start the second adhyay and then we'll stop after a few shlokas. So the second adhyay continues. Sanjay Uvacha तं तथा कृपयाविष्टम् अश्रुपूर्णाकुलेक्षणं विषीदन्तमिदं वाक्यम् उवाच मधुसूदनः. Sanjay spoke to Arjuna, who was thus depressed, sorrowful, distraught, and distressed. teary-eyed, remorseful, and devoid of hope, the following words Krishna spoke. So here come the first words of Krishna to that Arjuna who was feeling weak, who was feeling sorrowful, who felt there is no hope, there is no way. To that Arjuna, Shri Krishna speaks. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kutastva Kashmalamidam Vishame Samupasthitam Anaryam Ajushtam Asvargyam Akirtikaram Arjuna. Words of divine Krishna. Arjuna, from where has this delusion so untimely within you arisen? This behavior doesn't behove brave hearts, seekers of heaven or fame, nor stalwarts. He says, where have these emotions come from? He's saying they're not come from you. They've come from outside. Some forces entered inside of you. Where has it come from? Is what he's asking. And so untimely. Means Arjuna could have said this before the battle, isn't it? He could have said this when they were planning strategies. When all of them were together, ki chalo theek hai, you take this role, you take that role. That time, if that's a timely thing, he can say chalo theek hai, right from the beginning. But no, this is at the wrong time, at the time of execution of the plan, you are actually questioning the very intent for which you have always been a part of it. So he says, this is very untimely. This doesn't behove brave hearts. These are not the words of a warrior. Krishna is also speaking in a very neutral manner. He is not getting emotional. Krishna is not. Actual Bhagavad Gita is not yet started. It will start after one more point where Arjuna has to there is still a lot of pressure inside of Arjuna. It has not come out. So he says this line, that's all. It is untimely. It does not suit you. Nobody who is seeking heaven. You have in your life aspired for this position. I want to do so good deeds that I will be greeted in heaven. That is how some people live. That was the Kshatriya Arjuna was. So he says, no, not this does not suit you at all. He goes on further, a little stronger words. He says, Klaibyam masmagamaha partha naitatvaya upapadyate shudram hridaya daurbalyam tyaktho parantapa. Yield not to this importance of action. He says, what is this? This is an importance of action. Where has your Kshatriya dharma suddenly disappeared? Yield not to this importance of action. Not worthy of you is such a renunciation. This is not your standard. This is not worthy of you. This base weak-heartedness has no relevance. There's no relevance to this weak-heartedness. Give this up. Stand up, O warrior of eminence. Uttishta parantapa. Rise, O parantapa. He reminds him, your name, you are parantapa. Parantapa means harasser of enemies. So many people just know Arjuna is there and they would run away from the field. And this Arjuna is like this, is what he is asking. It has no relevance, is what he is again and again telling. Anybody has heard of this Suprabhata of M.S. Subbalakshmi? How does it begin? Anybody? First line.
Kausalya Supraja.
Yes, it begins with, and then there is Uttishta Govinda.
Yeah.
So why are we saying? Why are we saying that? Why is that Uttishta there?
To get up.
So why are we are asking God to get up, or what is the purpose in that? We're asking for the awakening of the consciousness in us, isn't it? And here we have Govinda himself saying Uttishta Parantapa. What an opportunity for Arjuna. Means the reason for Arjuna to just suddenly forget everything because Govinda has said himself Uttishta Parantapa. But no, this does not work on Arjuna because this is very strong. He's holding on to his emotions that even Krishna's presence is not enough. So you see, our emotions sometimes can blind us. Our emotions can sometimes prevent the divine also to work. Divine wants to work on us and we are not available. It's like, doctor, I'm not available for treatment. What can the doctor do? Best doctor also cannot give treatment if the patient is not ready. Consent has to be given, isn't it? Patient, first thing is consent, work on me, I'm available. Right now, Arjuna is not available, occupied. Occupied with what? occupied with his own emotions. So nothing, God also will not be able to start. Bhagavad Gita will not start until Arjuna says, I am ready, or I am available for you. I want to learn from you. Teach me. That has not started yet. So when he says this, Arjuna is not yet receptive. Otherwise, a very different Gita would be there if Arjuna was receptive. I even sometimes say, if I was there in Arjuna's place, Gita would be very boring. Krishna would say, Yuddhasva, I would say, Astu, certainly, yes, sir, over. No dialogue, not 18 chapters. So we are lucky Arjuna is what we can say best representative of a human. He's going to ask questions, he's going to question everything. And that is sometimes very useful also. Sanatan Dharma is about that freedom of questioning as well. Look at this. Arjuna is. Will anybody dare to say this to somebody like Krishna? Ki you were greedy. And Krishna is not minding that also because he's understanding ki chalo emotions, he is speaking in a fit of emotions. He just says this much in a neutral manner. He's not angry, he's not shouting. He's just speaking the truth. He says, rise up, O Parantapa. Now Krishna has put a little force. Arjuna is responding with even greater force immediately. We will stop with this question of Arjuna. We'll stop with the question. Arjuna is responding to this with a question. Because why? You're asking me to get up? You're saying Uttishta Parantapa. As if Krishna has only committed the biggest crime by saying this. He asks Krishna, Arjuna Uvacha, Katham Bhishmam Aham Sankhe Dronam cha Madhusudana Ishubhihi Pratiyotsyami Pujarha Varisudana. Arjuna replied, tell me how, as with weapons equipped, stand revered Bhishma and Drona in my sight. Both these great souls I have always worshipped, even in dreams. Them I cannot fight. He says, how can I see my uncle is there, my Bhishma is there, my Dronacharya is there. Here, specifically, Bhishma and Drona are like Deva for Arjuna. He says, I can't even dream of fighting them. And you are asking me to fight. How is it? So we will stop. Arjuna has not finished venting. There's going to be another 3, 4 shlokas. But the seventh shloka is the most important because the seventh shloka of this adhyaya is why we are having a Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, if that shloka was not there, Bhagavad Gita also would not have taken place. We'll see that tomorrow. But right now, we stop here with Arjuna. Arjuna asking when Krishna says, Klebhyam Asmagama Partha, stand up, don't show this importance of action. Remember your Kshatriya Dharma. Stand up. He immediately says, how? See, Guru is in front of me. Dronacharya is there. Pitama, Bhishma. Probably he's having all flashbacks of both of them, both fatherly figures. How can I stand? In my dream also, I can never stand up against my own fatherly figures. It is difficult. But if Dharma calls us, should we or should we not stand by Dharma? That's my question. Anybody? Yes, Tikamji, you were saying something? Yes, sir.
Unless you are very resolved that that is your
You
dharma.
need a strong resolve, isn't it? It is
Otherwise,
very difficult. Otherwise, it's impossible, isn't it? It's like, oops, you become silent. Mute button is already pressed before you speak. It is like that in front of such. They have done so many things, and you see, in spite of that, Krishna is commanding Arjuna, but Arjuna is not ready. So let us see if Arjuna does get ready or not. But right now, we'll stop here. So the first adhyaya is the adhyaya where Arjuna suddenly falls into a great depression, his sorrow, emotions are all overwhelming him. He's not able to see anything. He's not able to see light. He's not able to see hope. He's not able to see direction. He's not able to see any point in anything. So much that he feels it's okay if I just got killed by the Kauran weapons. I'll get some glory. Will he get a glory? Logically, anybody, if he got killed without fighting? No, isn't it? Not at all. But emotions are convincing him opposite. The opposite of truth is being convinced into his head by some emotion, some force. We will see about the forces later on in the Gita as well. There are 3 types of forces. One is Rajasic, Sattvic, Tamasic. Tamasic is the force of delusion. Problem with delusion is you don't know you are wrong. So if you don't know you're wrong, you'll never be corrected. No, it's like a criminal is or somebody is caged. If you don't think it's a cage, I mean, in my cage, I have wonderful air conditioning. I have delivery of food whenever I want. I have internet connection. Youngsters say I want this type of cage only, many of them. But that's a cage ultimately. You're not free. Even if somebody opens the door, you will not walk out. That is the problem. Right now, Krishna has told Uttishta Parantapa. Bhagavan Sri Krishna has said Uttishta Parantapa. Instead of recognizing it, he is now countering only, saying, How? How can I? So this is where we stop today. Somebody wants to add something? Vinitaji, you're adding something?
Perhaps this is why Arjuna wanted some justification.
Hmm.
I mean, that is why the Gita was narrated, because he had these doubts.
Yes, yes. And he is asking, no, to Krishna. He's not keeping it inside of him. Sometimes this is the problem. Our thoughts we all suppress inside of us and we're not able to deal with it and they only become the big headache we're on our, we don't realize it. Sometimes vent it out, become free and vent it to whom can always turn to Krishna.
Yeah,
That is
Krishna
what we
was
can
his
see.
Sakha.
Yeah, he was Sakha. Actually, Krishna is his friend also. He is his elder also, and his guru also. What a fortune it is for Arjuna. And he's also his Sarathi. They have a big history of being together. So many fun moments, so many light moments also. So that is why we don't judge Arjuna. We'll never judge Arjuna for his relation because this is Maitri. And in friends, I think friendship, everything is permitted, isn't it? So that is where it's not Guru Shishya yet, at least. But right now, this is friendship, and in friendship, Arjuna is in trouble. His friend Krishna has to do something, but Krishna is not behaving like a friend immediately. He is not getting emotional. He is quietly speaking like an elder. No, no, this is not right. That's all. But it doesn't work, so Krishna will have to do something, but we'll see what Arjuna does after this. So with this, we will conclude. Before we conclude, can somebody just tell a few takeaway points? Because our Gita workshop is basically for implementing things in our life. What are the points we can take from this first adhyay that we saw? Anybody, any point, we can just piece on. Sometimes we may get many points also. It's up to the whatever you feel, which will be useful. And if you share it to others, I think it will help us also, isn't it? Most of the time, I am hearing everybody's points and I'm repeating it in the next batch. It's the 20th batch. So I will also be very happy if I learn something. So, yes, please. What practical point can we draw from this first adhyay? Yes, Shubhangi ji. Yes, ma'am.
So when you are in deep emotions, the decisions
Uh,
which you take, they will
huh.
not be that correct, or maybe you
Okay.
should think twice actually.
Okay, we should think twice. That's a very nice one. Most of the time, the decisions taken in a pit of emotions are likely to be wrong decisions. So, remember twice, think twice before taking. That is one nice point by Madam. Yes, anybody would like to add? Yes, Kalpana ji. Yes, please.
Discuss problems with elders, gurus,
Yes,
or whoever you trust, and
yes. But what
just
if we
went
don't have
out.
anybody we can trust? What do we do then? If you don't have
The
someone to trust,
counselor. Then
we can
hire
go
a
to a counselor.
counselor.
You are a counselor. Okay. Yes. People have a stigma, isn't it, madam, to go to a counselor? They think, अरे क्या हो गया?
Yeah,
अरे दिमाग
it is.
खराब हो गया. People say all these things, but it's not. No, it's like fever. You go to doctor. So why? What is wrong in meeting a counselor? It is required. It is required, and it's the best thing to do. So yes, we got it directly from a counselor only. I didn't know that, ma'am. So
No,
yes,
I'm not a counselor.
you're not a counselor.
Okay.
Okay, I thought you were.
No,
Fine.
I'm not a counselor.
Okay, fine. So there's nothing wrong in taking that help. So yes, Anju ji has raised her hand. Yes, please. Yes, ma'am. Please feel free to unmute. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we need to be ready in order to see divine. If
हाँ.
we are shrouded by our own thoughts और अपने ही मतलब permutation
Yes.
combination लगा रहे हैं तो even if he is in front of us we won't be able to
हाँ.
recognize him.
That is true. There is a saying, so close to the church and yet away from God, so close to the temple and yet
Exactly.
away from God. Means
Yeah.
your emotions, you are in your emotions. Somebody is doing great sadhana of Bhagwan. Aradhya is standing nearby. It's like, आओ मत अभी मैं busy हूँ साधना में. These are very simple stories. Divine indications are also lost because of emotions. So we shouldn't
Yes.
allow our emotions to cloud.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, yes, ma'am. All right. Anybody else wants to add anything? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
Vaishali. So
Yes.
I also think that we have to be good listeners. Like Krishna didn't jump and
Uh,
judge Arjuna right at the beginning.
right, right,
He
right.
heard him out.
Yes, yes. So when somebody is speaking to us emotionally, instead of
Yes,
quickly judging, we are not die. We are not supposed to immediately jump, isn't it? To pass a judgment on somebody. ठीक है, they are
which is
trusting and
what
speaking.
most of us generally do.
Ah, we do that, isn't it? So we have to be like Krishna then.
Yeah.
Yes, we should think of Krishna and chalo, theek hai, he was listening. Let me listen. Yes, he called me a fool. Okay, right, right. I'm a big fool. Please continue. What more to say? Let the person went out. But who is this person? It person is a trusted one, isn't it? It's not Duryodhana venting out to us, no?
Yeah, trusted
Arjuna.
one.
Yeah, yeah. So both sides. It's somebody. Otherwise, sometimes people take the wrong. कि ठीक है, it's okay. Means Gita also. Some people have drawn a message that ahimsa is important. So whatever happens, if somebody attacks me, also I will get wounded. That's also himsa, no? Himsa to yourself. That's
Hmm.
not promoting ahimsa. So what is the real meaning? That is rightly said by I think by Shailaji. Yes, we can lend a ear. Okay, that is one more. Anything else, or should we conclude with the Shanti mantra?
There's one thing I wanted to just say. It's
Yes, ma'am.
just an observation.
Yeah, ma'am.
So, is it possible that, anytime like we have to, let's say, run 100 meters or something, just as we are
Mhm.
on the start thing, on your marks and get set, there is a cold feet, or, because we're thinking of the results, like what is going to
Ah,
happen at the end of it. So,
yes.
he's also thinking that, at the end of it, all these people are going to be dead, it
Okay.
might be this way. So, outcome of the war is what is making, creating a kind of a cold feet for
Right.
him.
Yes.
So probably later on, as Krishna would say, that karma nevadhikaraste na
You are perfectly
phalesu.
saying. Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
that could be again, like the
True,
reason why
true.
he's going
That
through
is
this.
the secret of Karma Yoga. The main basic outcome is something you should not be attached when you're doing your duty.
So right
And
now, it's the outcome which is causing this
okay,
anxiety and
that's
this
a
stress in
wonderful
him.
diagnosis. Yes, it is the attachment to the outcome that is causing trouble. We got a medal also from a great champion, isn't it? For she has quoted the same verse. Anybody knows it?
Yes, uh,
Yes, a couple of
Manu
medals.
Bhakur, no?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So, yes, so I think with this is the beginning of the Gita. Questions are going to become interesting also. Arjuna and Krishna Samvad is that is why celebrated because nowhere do we see that freedom. The freedom that is the freedom of Sanatan Dharma in a Guru Shishya relation also. But right now it has not yet got established, so Krishna is not giving any pravachan to Arjuna. Arjuna is just pairing with his emotions. Krishna is playing the role of a neutral elder or a friend. So let us conclude with a Shanti mantra. Hari Om.
Hari Om ji. Yes,
Hari Om.
Sushrut ji,
Yes,
just one thing.
yes,
Actually, I
sir.
think because it's at the start,
Hmm.
the fact that Arjuna is in so much of emotional stress, I think it gives actually hope for lesser mortals like us because even the strongest person has become, a
Ah,
victim of
yeah.
such emotions. So we lesser mortals should not feel
I think
disheartened. I
we'll
mean, because
not let us not make us lesser mortal also. We are mortals like Arjuna. Arjuna was no alien. He was a human being. We are
no,
also
a famous, a strong warrior. Yeah, the
yeah,
introduction
but
to
that
Arjuna
that
is
is
like that.
true.
So
But that is
that
means
way.
that is a normal thing. It is not abnormal. That much we can understand. कि ठीक है, we have this. And this is one very, I think Sir has rightly said that yes, it's okay. It's all right. Sometimes emotions do get the better of us. But that doesn't mean the battle is over. Because if you lose the battle on the inside, the outer battle is when is you going to fight it? Right now, Arjuna has
Uh,
already lost Kurukshetra on the inside. Outer battle cannot be fought. So first is
so
the inner battle. And another interesting thing is that Arjuna looks like he's sensitive, isn't it?
yes.
Emotional. Some people have very thick skin. They're not sensitive at all. But Arjuna is sensitive. Probably that is why he is receiving also from Krishna. Because somebody is sensitive, they walk on the spiritual path. Most of the people, their life journeys also, it starts, the Adhyatmic Marga begins because there is sensitivity. That sensitivity has to change. It should not be oversensitive. Otherwise, in our mechanical engineering, we had something about oversensitivity. That device will have to be discarded. So it has to be right amount of sensitivity is required. So, but one thing is yes, from darkness, movement will happen towards light. You don't have to think that darkness is everything. Maybe All right, sometimes these questions may come in life, like in Arjuna's life, worst of worst cases, but it's okay. It's for the light to manifest afterwards. Immediately, we will see Krishna how he is going to deal with it. So, all right, sir. Let us conclude with the Shanti mantra. After which, also, I'll be there for a few minutes if you want to discuss something. Hari Om. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् हरि ओम तत्सत् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं जय श्री कृष्ण पुनर्मिलामः we'll see tomorrow if anybody wants to ask or share something you're welcome
Yeah.
and yeah yes please
So this is a very so you know that Arjuna has Krishna, and so as you were saying that in hindsight we know that he is Krishna. So
yeah
otherwise, let's say Karna is taking counseling from Duryodhan and others, but
uh,
he also can become, in that sense, a good person and follow the path of good. Yeah.
uh,
So
means
now
correct.
in yeah.
I didn't understand the second part about Karna receiving counseling from Duryodhana.
Yeah, Karna has many issues, but yeah, he doesn't, and he has his side in many senses. Basically, whatever issues he has,
Yes,
he
sir.
asks Duryodhan for help, and
Yeah. And but Duryodhana is not a guru, no?
so
He's not someone who is going to help him selflessly. It is going to be a selfish aspect, isn't it?
even he's willing to give
That's
his
the
life for
point.
yeah.
Ask
For,
for
Yeah, we'll just come to Kamalji after in a moment. Ji. Yes. So, Tikamji, so what about this? I mean, I think, do you mean to say we have to be careful whom we are taking counseling also from? Is that what you are
how,
pointing out?
yeah, how can we be sure that we're talking to Krishna or we're talking to someone?
Ha,
Uh,
so who is guiding us? Is it Duryodhana right now, or is it okay? That's a very important, and it's actually very important. There are indications. There are, I mean, it is said. There's a famous Hindi phrase: "Guru banana jaan ke, pani pina chhan ke." You have to be careful. So, but do you have a SOP for understanding a friend whom you can trust, Tikamji? Is there any SOP? Your heart knows, isn't it? From childhood, so this is my friend. I can trust. Some people you meet on first day, you know, it's like, no, I can trust this person. Your heart tells you, you understand it from inside, isn't it?
yes.
But that should be on a level of, if it is again on a level of emotions. So there are levels of, if you see from an emotional lens, truth will get blurred only, isn't it? So you'll have to come out of that emotions to understand. But this is a very important point also is you have to be careful. Choose the right place to receive help from. We will see actually, Gita will equip us better. But as if one thing we can be certain is, I think we all have some Shraddha in our life, isn't it? Somebody we can trust. Someone. Means you don't have doubt in that. Some may have a father, some may have a mother. For some people, they say, I will not trust them only. I'll trust somebody else. So it could be anybody. It could be a teacher, it could be a friend, it could be somebody younger, it could be somebody older. So that Shraddha Sthan is important. Seeking help from a Shraddha Sthan. Imagine Arjuna went to Duryodhana and if he goes and asks him, what should I do? I want to just give up this battle to you. Say, yeah, very good, please give it. Just bring some more weapons of your other brothers also. That's all he'll do, isn't it? But Guru is not there. Guru is not like that. It is like the rule of Guru is the catalyst. Guru is not going to participate or take something. Reactant will get transformed into a product, a transformation without the catalyst remains inert, isn't it? Guru is not going. What will Guru take? My Guruji Damleji, when he was very young, he went and met somebody, and that time he said some good words, and then immediately that person up the Dakshina. Guru Dakshina kya doge beta? Already Damleji was very small as a young boy. He got scared. He put his hand towards his pocket. I have only one small coin. That coin used to have a hole that time. It was very small. And he was like, is he going to ask me that? I have only one. He took out the coin and he said, I have only this coin for Guru Dakshina. Then that person started laughing. He said, I don't want this. Then what do you want? He said, I want your raga, I wanted your lobha, I want dvesha, mada, moha, matsar. Give this to me as Guru Dakshina. अरे भाई ये तो कितना बढ़िया है, he's such a nice person. He understood at that young age. So something like that we will get the experience definitely, but we can understand who is, if it is Duryodhana or if it is not. But for that, we should not get attached in our emotions. Otherwise, the one who resonates our emotions becomes our guru, and that person manipulates us. Most of the time, that is what happens. I'm feeling so sad. One person tells, "Yeah, it was so unfair." That
No,
one more dialogue comes to you, you're overflowed. That should not be the case. We'll have to rise above emotions to do that, to understand that. Yes, sir, that's a nice point that you raised. Yes, we'll have to see, but Gita will tell us, sir. As we go a little bit deeper into the Gita, each and everything becomes clearer. Certainly. All right. Ji.
Yeah, I wanted to ask that
Yeah.
we are saying that Arjun has gotten weak and
Huh?
emotionally. We are saying that Arjun has gotten emotionally weak, but
Hmm.
isn't he showing a lot of character and conscience here that he is at the verge of achieving what he is preparing for so many years, but still he can look inwards and introspect.
No, but
So
yeah, but sometimes that introspection is right. He's not
at
holding on to he's not holding it to be very important to him. But you see, we have a tendency to quickly withdraw also. Human nature is there. Something we don't like, we quickly, like sometimes injustice happens, we should stand up against it, isn't it? But our mind has a nature to convince. So right now, Arjuna has good character in revealing the truth. Means sincerely he's speaking everything to Krishna. That character, like you said, he has a great character. Yes, he's openly speaking. But right now, you see, emotions are blurring him completely. Sometimes emotions control a person so much that the Arjuna we know is, we respect Arjuna so much because of his war only, isn't it? This he's as a warrior, isn't it?
yes,
Most of
and
Arjuna.
at this point, he's not thinking about victory. He's thinking about whether it is right and wrong. And I think that that makes him deserving of hearing Gita. Why didn't
Yeah.
others?
Okay. Okay, yes, no, that is true because you see, even a spiritual path, no, only the sensitive person will
Yeah, like
think about. One who is sensitive only can feel. One person's heart can beat for another person who is not directly connected with that individual. Why is it possible? Because there is a sensitivity. So he's sensitive, but thin line, isn't it? Sensitive and oversensitive. Oversensitivity is useless. A thermometer also, if it's oversensitive, it will show wrong temperature. Doctor cannot use it. So yes, all right. All right. Yeah. Okay. Fine. So we'll meet tomorrow. Hari Om. Shubharatri.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, sir.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Namaste.
Hari Om.
Namaste. Hari
Hari
Om.
Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Namaste.